the Reality Check podcast. I'm Zachary Phillips. Episode 7, How Social Media is Impacting Your Mental State. So something about social media that I found is that it really is just a highlight reel of what people are saying and what they're doing and what's happening in their lives. If you open up your Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or any social media that you've got, and what you're presented with isn't the full story of the person's life. You're presented with the highlight reel. And what I mean by that is as you scroll through, you're seeing people posting about their best news, like I just got married, or I've had a baby, or I've got promoted, or, this amazing thing happened. They're posting pictures of cute puppies or their food or, this amazing night out that they had. What they're showing you there is the highlights of their day or their week or their month. And the effect of this is that as you scroll through, you're seeing amazing thing after amazing thing after amazing thing. And it's really good to see that your friends and family are doing well for themselves, but the problem is that it can impact your mental state quite significantly. I mean, think about it. If you're there and, you're sitting on the toilet or you're just, bored scrolling through and your day hasn't been that great, but you look online and you see all this amazing stuff that everyone else is doing, it could be very easy to get depressed about your current life situation because compared to them, you're not living that sort of life. But the problem is that it's impossible to match a highlight reel that's displayed to you on social media. Let's say you've had an amazing experience. You went to a wedding or, you got promoted or something like that. That's one experience. But then, so even if you post that, you go online and you see endless amounts of that. The more you scroll, the more you see of that. So your one amazing event is almost instantly overtaken by everyone else's singular amazing event. So the effect of all this is that everyone's posting their amazing stuff, but if there's a chance that you'll get trapped by feeling depressed and upset because, you've only done one amazing event, but it seems like everyone's doing heaps of amazing events. So it's important to be aware that when you're on social media, you're seeing the highlight reel. You're not seeing that person's real life. You don't get to see the drudgery and the time it took to get to that point. So for me personally, I just got my blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It's something that took me maybe 3 to 4 years of significant levels of training. And I posted it on my social media. Now, someone else looking at that might look at it as one of these events and, get discouraged or disheartened because they're seeing success. They scroll to the next person and something else good has happened for them. But the thing is, I didn't post on my Facebook after every single lesson that I had. I didn't post about the pain and the injuries and all of that sort of stuff continuously, every single step of the way that it took me to get that achievement. And the same thing's true for the job, people that are posting about job promotions or people that are posting about, having a marriage. If you see someone that that's married, they're not posting about every single amazing date they had online. Or even if they are, they're not posting about all of the little negotiations and the back and forths and the niggling issues that they've had with their partner. Establishing a relationship is hard work. But if you go online, you don't see that whole process. All you see is that flash of good feelings. All you see is that one instance of, man, look at this thing that I've accomplished. So just be aware of that when you're looking through social media. And on the other side of things, social media also has the impact on projecting the worst. So people share the best, but they also share the worst of their lives. So you'll see people posting stuff online, this horrible thing happened to me. It could be the death of a loved one, or they got fired, or, maybe they've had, they're feeling quite depressed, or something bad is happening to them. So now when you're scrolling through, you'll see a bunch of posts that are just frankly depressing. And not that it's a bad thing, and, those people should definitely share their sadness and get help if they need it. And I'm not against that. But more what I'm concerned for is the impact that it has on my mental state. Like, I was scrolling through and I've got some friends that are very opinionated about a variety of different topics. This could be about religion or politics or veganism or, like a bunch of things that if you look into them, you can really, like climate change, all these things that are very confronting, especially when they're posted to you, like a confronting picture on this topic can really impact your mental state when you see it in a flash. Take a vegetarian or a vegan, for example. They'll post pictures promoting their worldview, which is fair enough. But without my consent, I'm scrolling down and now I see, footage of a cow getting slaughtered. Now I'm aware that cows have to die for the meat that I eat. That's okay. But I didn't sign up to see that image. Effectively, that image was forced into my mind without consent. Now, you would argue, or, people promoting that worldview would argue, well, you should know that. But let's extrapolate that to things that other people don't like. People that are very anti-war might post pictures or images of war-torn countries. People that are very concerned about the environment might post pictures of the deforestation. And it can be something a bit more mundane. I'm a fan of MMA, but if I share a video of a guy getting knocked out and, brutalized in his face, I'm now forcing basically everyone in my feed to see that post. They're seeing it without consent. And what I'm getting at here is that as I'm scrolling through, I'm seeing I'm forced to get into this universe that people are wanting to share. Now, I get that that's the whole point of social media, but I suppose I've just become really aware of the impact that that's having on my mental state. So if we put these two together, when I'm scrolling through, I'm seeing these amazing events happening in people's lives, combined with the absolute worst that's happening in people's lives, and the absolute best that's happening in the world, combined with the absolute worst that's happening in the world. So I'm left with this mental state that basically I'm being shown the best and worst that humanity has to offer. But there's no middle ground. And it leaves me feeling, upon reflection, it'll leave me feeling maybe a bit unhappy with my life, or that my life's a bit mundane, or that something's missing. But it's not, and most people that are listening to this, your lives aren't missing anything either. It's just you're consuming a medium that makes it feel like your lives may be missing something. Look, I'm not 100% sure where I'm going with this, but what I do recognize is that the importance is to step back from it all from time to time. Like years ago, I turned my TV off and I basically only watch shows that I choose to watch. I haven't watched free-to-air TV for probably 5 years, unless it's been on in the background of someone else's house. And stepping back from that, I've sort of, my mind's been freed. I've seen, if you take a bit of time off from social media, or a bit of time off from TV, your mind will start to sort of free itself from other people's opinions and projections. Combine that with a bit of meditation or mindfulness practice to realize what's happening in the moment. And you'll start to get a better understanding of what's real and what's fake. I think it's important for your own mental state to live in current reality and not based on what people are putting into your mind. Basically, just guard yourself. It comes from the idea that you are what you eat. I mean, if you eat good, you'll become good. Your body feels great. But it's the same thing for your mental state. If I watch a show that has violence, I'll think about violence. If I watch a show that has sex, I'll be thinking about sex. It's impossible not to. I mean, try this quick example. I'm going to say a word, and when I say this word to you, it's going to impact how you feel. You're not going to be able to choose what comes to your mind. It's just going to happen. Are you ready? The word's giraffe. You can't help but think of things related to a giraffe. You might be thinking of a zoo, or Africa, or yellow, or heat. But the thing is, because I said that word to you, it's come into your mind, and now you can't stop it. the fact that there's millions and millions of dollars spent on advertising is testament to the fact that what you're shown will impact you. If you weren't impacted by what you see and what you read and what you hear, there wouldn't be an advertising budget for any businesses. The fact that there's so much money involved proves that it works to you. So I want to finish with this. It's the saying that you are the sum of the 5 closest people around you. So given that we can be impacted by people and what we see and what we read and what's on our social media, be aware that the 5 closest people to you are in fact impacting your perception of reality. They're actually changing you. So it might be a good idea to take stock of the 5 people that you spend the most time around or that you listen to the most. Now, don't just think of people in person. If you've got a podcaster that you listen to all the time, or an author that you read all the time, or a director or a show, these could be potentially one of the main things that you take in. So step back and have a look at the 5 closest people to you. Are they impacting you in a way that you want to be impacted? And if so, keep going. If not, make some changes. And also really look at try and step back when you're scrolling through social media and see how it's impacting your mind. It might be quite good for you. Thanks for listening. And if you're after more content, I also have a blog that I update regularly, as well as a 1-minute video series where I'll be sharing insights on a variety of topics, including mental health, motivation, psychology, and philosophy. I'm releasing a new video daily. And if you enjoyed this podcast, please do me a massive favour and either review it on iTunes or recommend it to 2 people. Share the link with them and tell them why they would enjoy listening to it. Finally, I'd love to hear from you, so please connect with me on social media. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Zachary P. Phillips. Links to these, as well as anything discussed, are in the show notes. Thanks.